back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going live in towards the picks and bans. It is Tales of the Lane. It is the grand finals. This is D-Man and Jap bringing you the second match. And Eclypsia 1-0 up already. Picks and bans coming through. Skana, Jin Zhao, and Jax being banned out by Eclypsia. Lee Sin and Nunu being banned out by Curse.
So they think a lot of that must have been in the Nunu, the way they were chasing down, and especially finishing off turrets, was very well done by I'm So Fresh. So that's 2 targeted bans now at I'm So Fresh. Really, he's been playing out of his mind this tournament. Katarina ban, fairly expected.
So not worried about the Diana, not worried about the Orion. I'm going to pick insta-lock the Shen.
They give up the Shen. I mean, we haven't seen really a Shen impact this tournament.
No.
He's either been banned or seemingly not picked at all in some of these games, but sure enough, potentially deciding game of the whole tournament gets first
picked. He was picked in the one game, which was Eclypsia. Was the the very quick game. It was a very fast game, so we didn't even get to see much Stand United. He did get the max length also on towards Oslo.
Yeah, that game was just over before it started. So
it was, yeah.
I forgot it already. But and again, Fizz does get through. I mean, they'll have a choice of picking it if they want to. Even though I can't say Diana was a disappointment last match. Really, Tabs was destroying that entire match last game with Diana.
So, I mean, Xerath is actually a logical pick for them. Wow, where did that breeze just come from? Holy moly.
It's rather nice.
That is nice. Yeah, I've been absolutely cooking. So it's going to be the Corki Taric pick again, this time for Curse. So they're going to take that Taric away from Kuja. And Kuja's been playing brilliantly today at this tournament, to be honest. You know, he really can't go wrong with the support that plays.
The pink wards he's placed have actually been incredibly impactful. So it's allowed them to really get the edge in almost every early game, just whether it be through invades or just ganks coming through. And this pick and ban, you're going to take the max time on all of them because
Civ would be happy if Hecarim got picked here.
He would be. He's got a big smile on his face right now.
Yeah.
Hecarim got picked a lot of MOG. I Will Dominate played the crap out of him. He played him in almost every game. He was very successful with him.
He played him in the jungle all the time, actually, and it worked quite well for them up until they got to Azubi Blaze.
And then it all fell apart.
And then they went Rengar.
Right, and actually that was good too.
They should have stuck to
Yeah. Janna Ashe.
Wow. Well, Ashe has got some great stats in this tournament. Still keeps on winning.
That'll be 5-1 at this point because Ashe was this is the combo they ran. This is the first 3 picks they actually ran in their 18-minute game against SK.
And SK is sat right next to us, so Kevin's going to be having nightmares about this lineup already being picked. You know, don't pick Nidalee into this, whatever you do, because it might not work.
And he turns away.
And they actually
just scared him off.
No, to be fair, they actually said they watched the highlight. There's the YouTube clip on there, the highlights of it. They've actually watched it as well. So, you know, it happens. These things happen at times. You have to take it on the chin.
It's true.
And just basically, you know, deal with it and see what you did wrong and try and correct that problem. Curse may well lock in Olaf here. We saw Olaf for Moscow 5 earlier. Darian was very strong on that. Could lock it in. And he's going to be against the Shen, so it's kind of a safe pick. Wow, that could be an interesting one. Maluna does play a Mumu.
Picking a Mumu blind into no jungler is a very bold move. They're essentially saying, hey, please try to counter jungle me. And that's going to be it. There's a Mumu.
I'll be amazed if they lock that in.
I want to see Fizz so badly right now.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a top lane Shen.
But, I mean, he's going to go Diana if he would go Fizz, just because it seems to be the safer, more reliable assassin, and he had such success on the last game. But there's no way of really knowing because they're swapping through every champion right now.
Yeah, they're just going to hit that random button, just keep going, Wait until it actually does lock in before we start thinking about it. But a Mumu blind into it, like you said, it's an interesting one. I remember back to DreamHack Winter, they actually used AP a Mumu in the jungle.
And AP a Mumu is a very legitimate way to play, even just Magic Pen a Mumu.
Yeah.
He has so much base damage. I mean, 320 on Banish Toss. I think that with Rocket Grab are the highest damage, like, single target abilities in the game, if you don't count Nidalee's Spear, which is like 2/3 of someone's health. This will be interesting choices by them. Come on, Fizz. He's going to... Yes! Yes!
There we go. That's what everyone wanted to see this tournament. Fizz locked in. Get yourself on Reddit. Post it.
Ashe arrows
Twitter
into the Shark is actually a very, very dangerous combo.
Look at the shake.
All for a pick. Like, heal, ignite, Fizz, mid.
Now, the problem is, we kind of want a 3-match final, so we want this actually to lose.
To just fail. See him pick it and just fall flat on his face.
We don't want another 2-0. It's been 2-0. Every game has been 2-0 this tournament.
Actually, quite surprising. Maybe the only reason we're still on schedule. To be fair, the fast games and the 2-0s.
Very much the only reason we're on schedule. It is, actually, we're ahead of schedule. It's 8:34, to be fair. We had it down at 10 p.m. to finish.
That's actually really true.
We
should make sure we get a third game.
Yeah, yeah. So
but, okay, so pick against here. They haven't picked their mid laner against Fizz. They obviously let it through, and they played against them a lot, so they probably experienced what Tabs' Fizz is like. They could just pick Diana, because that seems to be a fairly safe mid lane pick in all these games. It'll be good for chasing. It'll be good for extra initiation.
Wow.
What?
How have we not seen Darius this whole tournament?
Whoa. What just happened?
How have we not seen him all tournament?
How have we not seen them have no AP carry is my real question.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Who's going to be mid?
Yeah. Darius?
Darius mid versus... Bruiser mid versus Fizz.
Yeah.
Of course.
Darius.
I mean, it's something
everyone is talking right now in the stands, by the way.
Froggen has done it. He's been playing that Bruiser Lee Sin mid. There's absolutely legitimate reasons to play a Bruiser mid versus that Fizz. And, you know, if these guys have played them that much...
They'll know.
They'll know exactly what they can play against Fizz.
I worry about this, though, because they don't have... Okay, so
they don't have AP. They don't have the burst.
Amumu, to be fair, is one of the highest magic damage characters in the game. Olaf and Darius can both deal true damage. Corki has true damage as well as magic, so it kind of fits. Like, they can sneak by with enough magic damage. Armor stacking won't completely destroy them, but that was completely unexpected.
This is an interesting game. This is going to be some very interesting team comp. So try to take us through how this team comp is going to work, A, from the start, and B, when you start looking mid lane, late game.
Right, so I'm just going to start with Curse, because that's the most kind of awkward team comp, and they have picked straight up.
You can look at Fizz as well.
I'm looking. Sure, we'll look at Fizz in Runes of Masters, but we'll get to the team comps in a bit later. Let's see what. Okay, 9 armor pen. He's went with dual pen runes, I believe, on his reds. That's the only way that works. Ability power quints. Ability power to 18 blues and armor yellows. I've never seen someone use dual pen reds in tournament.
Just look at the red runes.
They're dual pen.
Okay,
it's fine.
Okay, you know what
I know for sure. Armor pen and magic pen.
Yep.
Yep. Masteries 1911 with AP and also the damage trading, because Fizz likes to trade a lot. We haven't seen much Fizz in competitive, so this is kind of going off of nothing, but that makes the most sense for that. He's going to be auto-attacking a lot too because he's diving in, which is why he has the dual pen.
So let's look at
We have to look at Extinct, because if we had to guess, that's where he's going, is mid lane against him. So let's view that profile on Darius. Go for it. And Runes of Masteries, I mean, mid, how much MR is he going to really bring? Really just flat runes. He's got 80 quints, a couple 80 reds, and then the rest armor pen. Then he's got magic pen and MR, so that's somewhat standard. Kind of nice to see the 80. And then 921 with a lot of resistances spec'd in there as well, because he's got to make sure Fizz can't spike him out. He's going to have to build fairly defensively. And those are two incredibly strong people early. Darius might end up just bullying him completely out of that.
So who else do you want to look at?
What's
Maluno,
the most interesting? We should check Maluno for his jungle Amumu. I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to be, but let's check it real quick. And move speed, complete stack of armor, and then MR at 18. I'd expect maybe some offensive reds out of that, but that'll make sense. Then 21 defense and 9 utility. That is your Amumu Masteries, pretty much standard. And really, I almost just want to sit on this screen because we've done Runes and Masteries all day. I'm sure people have learned a lot from that, but this is, we need to talk about these comps more. Right, and it's about absolute lane dominance is what Curse is going for here, because Darius is supposed to shut out Fizz. Tarek Corki is supposed to completely shut out Janna Ash, and that's supposed to enable Maluno to farm and really chain ganks with Tarek or even Darius, because they can chain CC together to let the banish toss land, and they're really relying on that to avoid him getting counter jungle, because I'm So Fresh on Shyvana is going to look to counter jungle early and often, but that won't be successful if all the lanes are losing, because if they catch him, they'll be able to collapse in.
You're excited about this, aren't you? I can tell. You're getting speedy excited.
It happens. You don't see this every day, right? Especially in the finals of a major tournament after a day of craziness.
A day of something you've seen all day, and then you just see a composition like this that you just... Darius versus Fizz mid? That doesn't happen.
No real AP carry for Curse, let's be fair.
Yep.
Amumu's pretty much... He could get away with going AP in this situation too, because they'd have a tank line, or at least Magic Pen, but especially after what happened to them in the last game where Eclypsia kind of just bruisered them down, they might not necessarily want to do that. They might just end up going full tanky. So this will be interesting. Certainly
will be. And there is the two sets of players on your screen. The red team, or the white team, it seems to be the case at the moment, is Curse. And the blue team will be Eclypsia. And well, what a game this could be. It's 1-0 currently to Eclypsia there, as lit up in the blue. For some reason lit up in the white. They had been red all day. Maybe the red light's just overheated or something. And it just said
burned through the cover.
Yeah, just completely gone through. So, a lot of vulnerable players coming out here. And Tabs, a.k.a. CivHD.
CivHD's account.
It's CivHD's account.
So yeah, we're playing on live, actually. So
yes.
This is one of the first LAN events I've seen that's actually been played on live. So completely the same patch. Everyone's playing with at home, so you know exactly where the balance state is for everyone watching. And so, here we go.
What is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? It's Tails of the Lane, grand final, Eclypsia versus Curse. Eclypsia on your blue stream. As you can see them right now on your screen, there is Fizz zoomed right in on him. And it is going to be Curse in the red. It is a lovely looking Fizz as well. He hasn't gone with my favorite, which is the Fisherman Fizz. That's not a bad one, not a bad skin. As it stands, would anyone want to go for a Team 1 fight? I wouldn't want to go against Curse's Team 1 fight here because they got a lot of bruisers.
So much early power from Curse, so really anywhere they go, Eclypsia would have to concede range, even though if Janna started Tornado and Ash started Volley, they'd have pretty good poke back and forth here, but they're invading right through a ward, and they might get caught here.
Heidel's going to get caught. It's Heidel they've gone straight for, and they've actually pulled in a bunch of people. Heidel flashed out of it. He's keeping his 100% damage down. English is taken down very low, but immediately I'm So Fresh is taken very low. Nobody's going down just yet. Everybody's managed to get away. Shen's flashed up towards the top. Kuja's going to get caught out now. They're trying to get up towards Heidel.
Heidel's going to go down.
Puts the ward down. Dazzle on Heidel. Heidel's going to go down here, and it is going to be first blood for Creaton. Shen actually got away. He flashed through the red and went up towards the top. He managed to avoid the damage there, enemies, so it was just one kill in that whole exchange.
And that fight all spun on Heidel using his volley to scout and not having it at the start of the fight. That really would have turned a lot of the pressure early, but because of that, they had to scatter and run away. And that's a pretty good early start. If Curse wants to dominate lanes, there's no better way to do that than everyone starting with extra wards or extra health potions. This could enable Malunu to get the farms and the ganks he needs, and it could enable them to crush the lanes.
So Kuja still going back. He didn't really get anything. He's got that pink ward on him that he's had all the way through. So how are this just going to stack out? That is the big question. As it is, looking like the lanes are going to be pretty much standard. Just seeing where Kuja's going. They're just completely farming out, so helping out I'm So Fresh on the red buff. So Jat, let's go through the lanes slowly but surely. Top lane to begin with, it is going to be Shen versus Olaf.
This is easily the most standard lane we've seen in this whole game. And with the Olaf getting the assist early, hasn't actually went back to shop. So Shen starting taunt puts him in a disadvantage. That immediately lets Anguish get level 2. And he's going to be on the defensive for quite a while now. Maybe at level 3 or 4, he'll be able to start fighting back. Mid lane is so aggressive from both. And here comes a gank. I don't think there's no Darius still has flash.
Yeah, Darius is just going to walk towards his turret. He may even hook in on I'm So Fresh. I wasn't sure what he picked up in the early level. Let's go through that mid lane. It's going to be Fizz versus Darius, and this is really the one that everybody wants to see.
And I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Normally, Fizz wins because when he jumps on top of an enemy, he outdamages pretty much anyone mid. I don't know if he can actually do that to Darius because Darius's up-close damage is almost unmatched. So it could be a brilliant counter pick, but I'm not sure it because I've never seen this matchup.
Well, you know, we've seen Extinct playing many things. We've seen him playing AD carries. We've seen him playing bruisers before, so it does not surprise me. It's the same goes for also for Anguish in the top lane. It's a very versatile team. It's just they've never quite been able to pull it off in tournaments. This could be the first time. If it gives them so much confidence if they could pull something out in this tournament. Let's have a look at down that bottom lane. It is going to be the Ashe lane, and you can see the jungler there, I'm So Fresh. He's just picking up the red buff. It is Heidel, Kuja. That is going to be Ashe, Janna. Pretty standard lane, really. Something we haven't seen still for a while, though, but it has been a winnable lane. They won something they completely dominated on earlier in the day. They got that 18.5-minute win versus SK Gaming. Unfortunate Kevin, who's just over the side, Candy Panda as well. Didn't work out so well for them, guys, but that was the bottom lane. They were shoved heavily, but they're against Tarek Corki.
And Janna Ashe is actually a lane that is quite strong, levels 1 through 3. When you factor in the volley, the crit passive from Ashe, and the early damage of the shield from Janna, it's quite potent. You can see they were able to shove them back into the turret very early. Once they hit kind of level 5 and 6 is when the lane starts coming back against them, and that's when sustained damage really matters a lot more than poke. So right now they have a bit of an edge, but they're going to have to be careful as the levels progress.
So lanes starting to balance themselves out. Hopefully, once we get a spare moment, Piri will level out the lanes as they are in the text in the bottom lane. And we're just keeping our eye, just seeing what Shyvana's doing. Amumu keeping up the farm, though. Just picking around, and you can see Shyvana's trying to get aggressive on him, but just can't manage to gauge his position. Extinct getting pushed in. The Ignite going down. Tried to hook on Tabs there and pull him into the tower. Shyvana does back away. Shyvana was there ready and waiting, but using the Ignite pretty early, maybe trying to bait him into something.
And really, despite the first blood, these lanes are shaking down really, really close. I'm So Fresh ends up walking on a few too many wards. Really hard for him to try to go around and gank after his team has given up the first blood, just because everything is going to be warded. He probably should have focused a bit more on farming. But even with that, 1,900, no, about a 900 gold advantage appearing for Curse. And Maluno spending some time. Going to be really, really hard to pull off a gank up here.
But he has managed to sneak in there. He's trying to bait out the taunter. You can see Angus trying to get aggressive on him. Wants to bait it out. He's taking himself very, very low here. Now he baits it out. What a brilliant bandage toss.
Whoa.
Absolutely superb. Is it going to be enough? The minion just going to hit him. He's down to 24 hit points. Survives it. Superb bandage toss. Clutch.
Really took that bait to another level. Pretty much almost straight up died. But getting the turnaround gives him even bigger edge. Getting the kill on a Maluno is also really good.
I'm So Fresh, they're walking straight into it, and they baited him in. This time they're going to bait in the back of the round. Duke managed to catch the Howling Gale on towards Super Ez. Good block out there from Kraton, blocking the volley shot. So
Fizz coming around the back.
Fizz is coming around the back, but they've already backed off enough. But they're going to put pressure, and they're going to push that tower very, very quickly. The rest of the team all over this one. It's a four-man push on the turret early on, level 6 minutes in.
They actually ran out of creeps. They're going to have to get this with the next wave, but they should be able to. Maluno's taking this opportunity to try to counter jungle, and Extinct is pushing mid, so this leaves the turret exposed. Taking a turret when they're kind of losing the other lanes is a little dangerous. They might end up starving themselves a farm, but nevertheless, that accelerates the game.
They put more pressure on towards that mid lane. Curse 2-0 up currently. 1-0 down in games. They're just going to put that pressure on there. Tab's very, very cautious of that hooking. I don't even know the name of it.
Apprehend.
Apprehend. I mean, I don't get to see Darius in tournaments. It simply doesn't happen because he's usually banned out. And now I've actually come to think of it. He hasn't been banned this entire tournament, yet he's not been used.
Hasn't been banned or picked. He's a very American pick. I know Crumbs and Westrice.
He was banned a lot of it in MLG.
All of them really love playing Darius. Especially they had a Darius Katarina synergy in MLG that actually worked very, very well. But in this one, he's just kind of bruising up mid, trying to neutralize Fizz, and doing a pretty good job of it. Ahead, 44 to 34, hit level 6 first, keeping control of the lane.
Top lane, is he noticing? He's got his visor down, Angus there. He does finally spot out I'm So Fresh. Is it too far though? Hasn't got exhaust on I'm So Fresh, so he just manages to catch him out and walks away, and that's going to be backing off to the turret. It's going to be a lot of damage done to the turret here. If he backs off, he's going to have to stay on that lane.
And how low is this turret in the bottom lane, too? Because I could have sworn they were going to finish that off. Can we just look up at that bottom turret? Just a bit higher.
To the turret.
I'm going to check myself.
The turret.
It's down to about 477 health, so they didn't get all of it, but they got about 1/4 of the turret. And there's a dive up top.
Taking very low. The Ignite is running, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to be able to avoid the damage. But again, it's going to be a lot of damage going on towards that top turret this time around. So Eclypsia taking all those turrets down very, very low here. There is the turret. You can see it's pretty low. Mid lane, actually, there's a bit of pressure on towards Fizz, but he's not managing to catch it out. That top lane.
Kuja's dead.
There's going to be Kuja. He's going to get caught out. Dazzled. There's the Amumu. It's going to be the Curse of the Sad Mommy. He still flashes out of it. Stan United coming in. Is it going to be enough? They try and get on towards Kuja. They do finish him off. And now to enemies has got to be careful. He doesn't get caught out. Enemies sort of Heidel doing the damage back on towards Super Ez, but it's not enough. That Taric ultimate running, keeping the armor high. And, well, Amumu working out so far.
And that gank served two purposes, because when Shen had to run bottom lane, that took the pressure off top and made it so they couldn't finish off that tower either. So that's two turrets that they've tried to take down. Would have neutralized them in this game, but because they've been repelled so well, they're going to fall even farther behind when they give up this dragon. Ashe puts the hawk shot down, but there's just no stopping this one.
There's nothing they can do, and instead you can see that it's going to be a push on that middle lane for Tabs. But as this is happening, red buff is being stolen away by I'm So Fresh, so he's trying to take advantages in that jungle, but the fact is Maluno has been there and got 2 kills, which gives him that instant advantage. He's got that GP10 item already. He's going to go get a second one because he's going to have the gold fit. While that's happening, his jungle partner is definitely chasing shadows, to be honest.
He hasn't been able to pull off really anything. They need to get the turret pressure back. That's how they were winning so many of their other games. The game against SK, 2 turrets down in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Last game, it was not a single turret down for themselves, every turret down for Curse. And this game, it's been a complete other story. Ever since that level 1, all the early wards really have shut down I'm So Fresh. It just makes him chase ghosts there. And these pushes on these lanes, I almost feel like they're afraid to take turrets right now because they worry about just completely getting starved since they're losing so many lanes.
As it is, there's an exchange back on the top there. It is Anguish and Anguish and Shen, sorry, at the top lane. Just having a little back and forth. Meanwhile, down the bottom, they're continuing to push the praise, but here is Tabs in the middle. This is what you all wanted to see. The question is it working right now? He's fell behind in CS. You can see 55 to 72, sorry. Falling behind, just about keeping the CS going, but Tabs isn't all about, or sorry, should I say, Fizz isn't all about early game. He's about once you get that assassination on the go.
Fizz is about just disappearing the AD carry late game, and he's never really been a guy who CS as well in mid lane. I mean, he's a melee with no ranged abilities, yet he's still run mid. It's because how good he is at actually killing. Just when you're up against someone like Darius, you can't actually kill, and he's going right in as Amumu's there. Can he disengage?
Oh, and that's actually going to be the miss. Pops the ultimate down, but they try and dunk on towards Tabs on the turret. He's going to continue. He's trying to get on towards Extinct, but it's not enough, and he escapes. Have a look on his hit points, please, on Extinct if you could. He's got 87. He was safe. He's got a health pot running anyway, but Maluno actually missed the bandage toss. If he'd have landed, we do manage to miss the kill up top there. Doesn't matter. Don't bother rewinding it. Just goes straight back. He is going to get caught out. Anguish there is just a straight 2 with 2 for 1, and he tried to get too aggressive, and this time he got caught out by the jungler, and Ragnarok is not going to be enough. I don't know, we know where he was trying to run away from there, trying to bait in enemies, and he gets caught out. Speed things back up to get back to life.
And that kill in mid against Extinct was actually
avoided
avoided because he popped a health potion during the fight, and it did take him down to 30, was at his lowest moment. So it would have died if he would not have pulled that health potion off. Almost a good turnaround. And finally they start getting some turrets down, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and they're still down over 3,000 gold.
But the mid turret for the top turret, I'll take that any day of the week. The mid turret is such a key one, such a big part of the vision that they have taken away, and Maluno was the one that just self-pushed that one. So, looking across the lanes, let's see how it is panning out. There's been a lot of kills and deaths. It's still 4-1, Curse with that advantage right now. Up the top lane, 69 to 80. They've had a kill and a death apiece between them. Actually, tell a lie, that's the mid lane. I'm looking at the bruisers and thinking immediately top lane. This is definitely a strange game. 76 to 49, the farm, though, between Olaf and Shen. Big difference there. Got the 2 assists early on as well. And Mumu, though, 2-0-1 compared to Shyvana, and that's a big difference. You can see he's got a heart of gold. He's got the Philo Stone. There's only 1 gold item, but there is Ninja Tabby on Shyvana, so that's a bit of an advantage. Okay, yeah, it's okay there. 93 to 80 in the bottom lane, so actually Ashe out farming Corki right now, but Ninja Tabby boots and Phage versus Azeel.
Yeah, and against a team with really no AP carry, you'd think that once they get a bit of gold, their one-dimensional defensive builds will be good. And here comes Kuja, a lot of trouble bottom.
Kuja in trouble again. There's Maluno coming down. Actually, no GP10 items still, and no boots on Kuja at the moment on Janna. Obviously, boots maybe not such a problem because you get the Zephyr and he's got that built-in speed buff, but the fact that he's got no GP10 still built up yet compared to the one for Kuja is going to be a problem.
It's really dangerous, and that's what happens sometimes. Kuja likes to run such an aggressive Janna page, really never running any GP10 when we saw his runes earlier, that if you fall behind in a lane like this and don't take any early turrets, that's kind of what he was relying on in the previous games. You just don't make it to your items, and they really need to struggle to get back into this one.
So Mumu picking up that blue buff, and I guess he's keeping the blue buff himself. There's no reason for anyone else to take that blue buff.
Makes perfect sense, because Mumu actually just powers through the jungle with the blue, can spam so many more tantrums, and yeah, that is what he's maxing, his tantrum on Mumu. So good blue buff, and he's really powering through this game. Already level 8 and an ultimate up. Blue buff ultimates from Mumu are very scary ganks.
They are very scary, and Anguish keeping the pressure on towards enemies at the top lane, aka tons of damage is Shen. They are stacking up. They're going to try and go towards him. Anguish did go down, have a look towards that bot lane, but he was well aware, the map awareness, and obviously the shout from Maluno saying, yep, they're coming your way, as a ward dies somewhere on the map. We don't quite have vision of it, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I'm guessing that means there is an Oracle on Shyvana. So if we look at I'm So Fresh, he must have an Oracle on him. Yes, he does. Yep. So the Oracle is there. So I don't think Amumu's picked one up yet. If we look at Maluno, I don't think he's actually gone for an Oracle. He's been building those GP10 items. As it is down the bottom, looks like Maluno's going to trundle on down here. We'll soon know if he stops at that wall.
Nope, he has no Oracles.
But he does walk straight past it, and they back straight off. And he is aware of the situation. They're looking like they're going to try and go for a gank on towards Extinct. Not close enough. And the pings, maybe they're going to turn it around. They know that I'm So Fresh is there. Extinct thought about hooking in I'm So Fresh, and he just used his burnout, isn't it? I believe it is, to speed up and get past.
this game actually kind of calmed down a little bit after a very frantic start, and it's settled into some just straight-up lane farming. Surprisingly, we haven't seen really any comebacks in this tournament yet, and with this early advantage for Curse, it's looking pretty grim for Eclypsia. Tabs really has to start getting going. They need to find the right fight for them, but it's such a beefy team. Fizz is really all about assassinating squishy targets, and I don't know if he's going to find them against Curse.
Super has taken a couple of volleys to the face from Heidel. Continuing the farm, we do see Extinct heading south, but again, they seem to be onto it and aware of the situation. It seems like that middle turret going down has kind of confused Extinct for a while. He wants to get the ganks, but the ward placement just keeps catching him out. Every time he goes missing from that mid lane, everybody backs off because no one wants to fed Darius.
And Tabs is doing a pretty good job just farming up as well. I'd imagine, I don't know if Tabs is a guy who does a Lich Bane rush on Fizz, but I have seen a lot of it. He's just fully wave clearing all these minion waves after Extinct shoves into a turret, so they're not really gaining anything by having that middle turret down. They're not getting any counter juggling advantages. They're not getting any roam advantages out of having the middle turret. And they're allowing, really, Eclypsia to recover a bit from that disastrous early game.
So they're continuing to farm. It's a 4,000 gold difference currently for Curse, so you're going to expect that the advantages will slowly build up. You can see Tabs just last hitting as much as he can. Extinct trying to cause him problems, but it's very hard to stop him farming once he gets to this stage. And let's have a look at the gold advantages across the board. So you can see mid-turret, that's actually the bottom turret going down to minions there. Across the mid lane here, the ones you're looking at right now, 500 gold difference. Across the bottom lane, the top lane, it's a 900 gold difference. Big stack up.
Sorry, I was going to say ooh because I thought we'd see a dragon fight, but I didn't realize Janna and Ashe just went back to base, so Shen cannot ult in to stop this.
I thought you were going for a teabag advert or something. There's a ooh Thai food tea, but that wasn't what you were aiming at. Ooh.
No, not quite. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, it would only be English people who would ever get that joke. Nobody else would know it, but it was Frankie Howard, and you probably don't even know who he is.
Nope.
Nope. Comedian in England.
Reaching too
died.
far.
Yeah, reaching far too far. We are seeing the red buff actually. Let's have a look towards where is Olaf going. He's got a two-man stack above him. He's just going to try and prevent and defend off. Is anyone going to move towards this top turret? You can see Amumu and Darius both heading that way. Are they going to be able to close him out? Darius is going the right way. He's going to walk across the ward any second now. So if we cut off to the left there towards that tri-bush, is he going to close the distance quick enough? Anguish, they realize the fact that Anguish is going so aggressive, they know that something is coming. Danger, and they back away.
And Maluno has finally picked up that Oracles, but it's not leading them to much. They're losing the turret war, actually. Curse is to Eclypsia, which is surprising considering the 4,000 gold advantage. They should put a little bit of pressure back on them here.
Fizz coming bottom.
And Darius is in tow, so Fizz has got to get out of there, otherwise he get collapsed on by 3.
Yeah, he can just bounce through the Dragon Pit, which is why they were closing into that position, and he hops, skimps over it. Meanwhile, at the top there, they're continuing just the back and forth between the top laner and the jungler. Both continuing to poke that lane out. Darius starting to get a bit of free farm on here, but he's actually, oh, there's going to be the ultimate used on towards Extinct there. Is it going to be enough damage? That's the question. Tries to poke him down. Stan United now coming. Extinct realizes he's in trouble, flashes through, tries to lose them in the brush there, but unfortunately he's walking straight into a ward. I'm so fresh with the ultimate coming through. The rest of his team are collapsing. You can see Maluno's just coming above. Extinct's going to try and get up there. There's going to be the bandage toss. Oh, but it's not enough. He didn't pop the Curse of the Sad Mommy. Now he uses it in case they're trying to escape there. Now the damage is turned back around. Fizz goes down. I'm so fresh is the next target. He's got an Oracle on. They desperately want to catch on towards him. Anguish is going to try and chase him, but it's not enough. While that's happening, he's going to try and catch on. One more axe. He does catch it down. They take down Janna as well. Kuja drops, and that was a straight exchange, a 3-for-1. Great play, and Maluna came in, but I thought he could have popped that Curse of the Sad Mommy a little bit earlier.
So close, really allowing Extinct to die, but even with that, a 3-for-1 trade when they're already ahead and dropping the Oracles on I'm So Fresh is huge for them. 5,000 gold, add that to the Oracles, and add that to the red buff seal that they just got, and just add up who's getting the kills, because a 203 Corki, a 204 Mumu, 212 Olaf are the right people to have kills. Tarek has not accidentally picked up any 005, perfect support score, and they're looking to be in the driver's seat here, the bruiser-filled centric team comp with no AP carry. Might be paying off.
And that's going to be very hard to actually stop. Once they start pushing towers, how do you stop such a big, strong bruiser lineup, or beefy men, as you like to call it?
How do you stop all the beefy guys pushing up your mid lane? Like, what do you do? It's just, you try to throw Shark in there, but you're an assassin.
How do you stop beefy guys pushing up your grill?
Yeah. I mean, I said it alone. You didn't have to repeat the phrase.
I was quite happy with it.
It was going to stand on its own. But anyway, 7-2 is quite impressive. And there's no real items coming out from Eclypsia yet. You can really see it. It's, you know, Warden's Mill on Shyvana, no damage, not even a Wriggles. That's so strange for a Shyvana build. Shen also just double Thorns, really trying to survive the lane against Olaf. And we even said in Champion Select that this was really about Curse trying to just dominate the lanes. And they've done just that, especially after the level 1.
We just saw the ward go down, actually keeping Amumu away. He still goes back in there. He has got an Oracle, and you can see that Shyvana is just on the bottom. They might try and dive him on the turret here. They are going to shove in. They don't realize I'm So Fresh is there. I'm So Fresh just bought a new Oracle. Amumu hasn't got Curse of the Sad Mommy because he just used it in the last fight. He has to back away. And I'm So Fresh kind of showing his hand there, but that is the bottom turret going down. Creaton picking that one up, so the bottom lane do manage to take another turret. Even in turrets now, 6k gold advantage, slowly but surely building up for Curse Gaming.
Really just on their heels here, starting to lose the turrets. Second Oracles and I'm So Fresh, pure tank Shyvana not really going to work out. Angus just living in the turret with that Warmog's armor, knows he's going to regen this back up after the trade. Tab's trying desperately to run around and create, but because Shyvana doesn't really have the map presence, he's not able to roam successfully.
And Amumu coming back up to that top lane. This time he does have his ulti available. They might dive on that top turret. Let's go back to up there. You can see they're going to put the pressure on. Actually, he's just going to back away from it. Meanwhile, we look at the mid turret when there's nothing happening. I'm So Fresh is just farming there. Let's go back to the top turret, please, where you can see them taking the turret down. Well, it's gone already. So it does finally go down. Thanks, Piri.
3 turrets to 2. 7,000 gold advantage. Really starting to pile up. Eclypsia has no counterplays to what Curse is doing right now. They're not really grouping up like they did in the first game. They're not really trying to create anything. The one time they did group up, it got turned around on them for a 3-for-1 kill. So it seems like they were a little gun shy off of doing that again. They're trying to get Hadal farmed up, but that's really not why they've been picking Ashe. It seems like they pick Ashe for kind of the roam, vision, and utility. Not really for late game hypercarry, because there's no way he's going to outcarry Corki in this match.
You definitely can't get close to it. And, well, Extinct, ooh, he's very close to being hooked in there. And he just hops, skips, and jumps away, cleans the farm. Actually lost one because of the turret, but it's not too bad. 195 to 189 between the two ADs. The mid lane, 192 to 188. So we're going to be seeing a lot of 200, maybe even 300 CS farm guys here. So, Jat, we're going to start moving in towards late game. These guys eventually will start grouping up, and I feel that moment is around about now. So once we start getting into those big 5v5 fights, we already saw a close fight, team fight, which actually went heavily in towards Curse's favor. How are Eclypsia really going to deal with it once we start getting into these big team fights?
It's going to be so difficult for them because Curse's team fight is actually quite strong, especially at this point in the game. No one's really been able to get enough armor. I mean, they have some chain vest, but they've kind of forgotten to get damage. There's enough magic damage and true damage that comes out from Curse that, I mean, Maluno's going to be wrecking house with that Amumu ult. Everyone actually has a fair amount of AoE damage when you consider Darius plus Corki missiles plus even Angus's axes on Olaf. With that Dragon, with that 8,000 advantage they've now piled up. I'd honestly expect them to start forcing around Baron. That's the next thing that's going to happen. And for Eclypsia, it's going to be about trying to get them to initiate on the wrong target. But for them, that's Shen, and he's really not tanky enough to take it anyway. And then you look at their damage, and it's literally just Ashe and Fizz. And Fizz doesn't even have that much armor because he's rushed himself into his Zhonya's Hourglass. So they need a lot more time before they can really do anything.
Trying to get as much damage as he can, and it's that dangerous situation once you start going on a bit of a tilt. But you can see that Ashe is desperate for damage here, neglecting going for Berserker Greaves and instead getting that Infinity Edge and Zeal out. So they want as much damage, realizing that if he gets caught, he's dead. It doesn't matter. So he doesn't need the speed movement around the map. He's just farming it out.
And yes, they're trying to do that, but I almost feel like they sacrifice their builds too much to try to counter the boosters. And oh no, Tab's getting pulled in.
Tab's getting caught out. Stan United used, but Curse of the Sad Mommy comes out just in the right time. They dunk straight onto him. Now they're going to turn on towards tons of damage, aka enemies. He's got a 5-stack, could get another dunk here. He's just waiting to build it up. We saw it with Dyrus the other day, and TSM just dunking on towards him. He's got the 5-stack. Creaton's the one that actually steals it. That means he doesn't get the refresh, I don't believe, on there, and that's actually going to cause Curse to back away. Doesn't matter, they picked up 2 kills, now they're going Baron.
Back away straight to Baron because one of their 2 damage dealers is gone right now, so it's literally just Hadal and Janet. They can't really do much. They might try to harass this with some tornadoes, but everyone on Curse is really at full health. This is a really dominating victory thus far.
absolutely all over them. Shyvana's going to try. You can see him coming in. If we can pan the camera down, you can just see that they are going to move in there. But Creaton already shredding straight through Kuja. Howling Gale comes in. I'm So Fresh has been hooked in. He gets dropped. And Extinct again gets another dunk down. And they return to Baron. Dragon completely out of it now. I say Dragon, and what I mean is Shyvana.
The big dragon.
Yeah, the other one. There's no smite available to them now, and that is going to be Curse picking up a Baron. And honestly, like you mentioned, they are very strong. Oh, Kuja's just being shredded by Creaton there. Heidel can't do a thing to save him.
And, I mean,
I don't even know why he was in that position.
especially here, 40,000
Oh,
to 30,000.
Ragnarok used by Anguish. They want
Does
to
he have
chase on this one.
Ghost? Oh my
Flashes through.
goodness.
Pops straight on towards Heidel. Gets the slowdown on him. The rest of the team are with him. Creaton could get the armor shred. Fizz gets in time. Anguish may lose his Baron here. He may well have gone a little too deep. Tags managed to pick up one kill. Can he get a second here? Maluno comes back around. Tries to save him. Misses the bandage toss. Gets the tantrum out. Creaton may go down here. Flash has to come out there, and Tabs can't continue to chase this one. Has to back away. Extinct's going to...
Oh my God.
God, that was just the right moment to hop skip. He was invulnerable when he was on his trident and just got away from it.
That's actually the second bandage toss he juked in that entire engagement with his troll pool. So very impressive play. But you can see why he picks Fizz. Not going to be enough in this game, I'm pretty sure. But still, that's a highlight in itself, being able to escape that.
Very nicely played. And takes Baron off Anguish. Really, Anguish's own aggression turning against him.
He really just got overzealous there. So confident off of a chain of teamfight victories and the Baron. I think they'll be fine even without Olaf having that. He's going to have to get some resistances pretty soon. Actually going for a Hex Drinker. A little curious on Olaf. A lot of times after the Warmogs, we've seen the Chain Vest and the Negatron Cloak come out and be super effective. But, you know, they do pass that blue buff onto Tabs, but they just don't seem to have the sustained damage. And everyone on Curse going a little bit bruisery, a little bit tanky. And against Assassins plus Ashe, there's just not enough damage coming out when they're this far behind.
And now they've got the Zeeks as well. Kuja just picking that up, so that's going to help the entire team. The fact they're all bruisers, it's the perfect item really for them. Getting that lifesteal across the board. We do have a pause coming out here. Interesting, we are on live server. It's 11-3 Curse with a clear advantage here. Interested to see what the pause was for. Going to look towards them. Looks like Eclypsia are all set, so it's going to be a Curse pause that's come out.
And they're back, so it's going to be a short pause.
Yeah, they're
obviously
back.
We're on the giant 3-minute delay from the live servers, but we can see that's still going. So within the next 3 minutes, within the next 5 seconds, we're back in the game.
We are back in the game. So pings resume. And Jan, I mean, they're Baroned up now. They've clearly caught a few people out. They tried to get a few picks back, Eclypsia here, but they're really up against it now. I mean, how are they going to even just dig themselves out of this hole they're in?
I don't know if they can. I mean, right now, Curse doesn't have a member with a whole bunch of armor, so if they get a dive that's bad, they might turn it.
They are all in position there. Monsoon used. I think he popped the Curse of the Sad Mummy off that one and missed it completely, but that doesn't matter. They're diving deep. They have the damage. Anguish getting caught out by Fizz there. Fizz using his Zonya is going to bait them. Anguish is very low. Anguish gets dropped here. They're going to turn on towards enemies. Enemies low. Tabs is going to get dropped. They do manage to take him down, and enemies went down as well. Heidel now gets down as well. Once he's exposed, he can get dropped very quickly, and it's Darius that picks up the kill. And it's just I'm So Fresh that survived. We're going to see an inhibitor going down here from a Baron up Curse.
And it's really unfortunate because that was one of the best fights Eclypsia could have hoped for. They got an overdive and they got a miss to Mumuwald, and they still got crushed in the fight. It's really just a matter of them not having the items at this moment in the game, being too far behind. And really, the mid-game peak for a Bruiser team is where they shine, and they are just hammering it home right now.
And the rest of Curse all back off, albeit in a ward. I don't think there's really much point in interrupting it. Actually,
Maluno smashed it with his face.
Takes the ward down, yep, and the cheer comes out for it. So, inhibitor down. Gold, huge advantages across the board. Mid lane, you can see 10,000 gold plus 2,000 advantage over his lane mate. A 2,000 lane mate in the jungle, on the top lane, sorry, 3,400 lane advantage in the jungle, which is, remember, you call that a lane advantage, and a 3,000 advantage for the AD carriers. Generally, that spells a big advantage across the board. And honestly, that's, you know, when you're talking 3,000, that's a major item right there, difference. And
I mean, even in the game, sometimes 3,000 is substantial, let alone on an AD carry who's 507 and just shredding people with Gatling guns. So
that Hawk shot just saved.
Big trouble.
And that Hawk shot just completely saved. I think it was Shyvana. I'm So Fresh heading towards the red there. Anguish was in the bush. And suddenly they put that Hawk shot across, and she's like, whoa, back off. We saw Anguish in there. And the bottom turret, there's nothing they can do about this one. This is going to get taken down by Curse. honestly, they're just spectators in this game right now, just like we are.
That's very true in a lot of ways. They're just at mercy for where Curse wants to go. They're trying to split push a bit with Shen, and they're really just waiting for Curse to dive and hope they do it wrong. Curse doesn't have anyone with a whole bunch of armor, so the dive might backfire, but if they get in the Boo Boo Bolt like that, they're good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're going to drop Kuja. Kuja tries to use the Monsoon. Actually, they've caught him on the turret quite hell. As Super Acid's getting dropped as well, but Corki picks up one. Creaton doing the damage. Extinct also on there. Tabs is going to get picked off. Tabs is trying to get a low. Enemy's incredibly low. Everybody very, very low. They will get finished off. That's going to be one down. Extinct is going to get dropped. So Tabs does manage to get back in and pick one up, but it's the extinct of his own life. And that is going to be another inhibitor going down. Super minions coming in. Heidel's got to be careful. They could dive him here if they manage to catch that banish toss in the right position.
One stun.
He's trying his best to avoid the damage. Nexus turret, one goes down, straight on towards the second one. They're just going to pick on that Nexus turret. They will manage to get it down. That is both Nexuses down. They should finish the game right here. We're going to get a game 3 coming out unless Curse do manage to get driven back. Actually, they're all very low. Heidel manages to get one. Kuja gets on the second. They get the inhib though. It's 19-16. And Curse Gaming take game 2. We're going to get a third game in the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen.